We all grew up in that house, watching that TV or reading those magazines, enjoying those books or bored by that newspaper. All of them seem to agree with Grandma. Never discuss politics at the dinner table. Never discuss politics at home. Santiago de Chile was the first neoliberal economic experiment in the world. A group of Chilean economists, the Chicago Boys, indoctrinated by Milton Friedman in the University of Chicago, were the ones who imposed an economic plan by the right-wing side dictatorship of Pinochet in the 70s, and the urban consequences of that plan, in the social structure of Chile, are now seen all over the world. Segregation of the poor to the periphery of the city, privatization of public industries and services, deregulated urban growth by the hands of private interests, displacement of communities due to changes on the land value, among many others. Urbanization has played a crucial role in the absorption of capital surpluses at ever-increasing geographical scales, but at the price of burgeoning processes of creative destruction that have dispossessed the masses of any right to the city whatsoever. Today the city covers all the planet. As proposed by the geographer Neil Brenner, it is no longer possible to make the classic distinction between urban and rural. The city and its industry is extended to all our territories. While in many parts of the world there is an increment of informal camps of displaced populations because of socio-political and ecological crisis and the need to build housing is urgent, in other parts of the world entire cities are abandoned because of urban speculation. What is the role of architecture in this scenario? Is it just another instrument of the neoliberal economy? Is architecture able to resist this perverse economy and create spaces for discussion in the public arena, and promote practices of resistance? The public space is increasingly privatized. The neoliberal doctrine has prevailed over other ideologies and it seems to dictate every aspect of our life. In reverse, the house as private space has become public. The new media have done the job. Today not only the streets are the place where people can manifest and generate resistance to the prevailing policies, new spaces for discussion and decision-making are now open. Public space has become multidimensional and architecture has expanded its areas of development. Is in these new fields of action where we must confront and bring to light practices of spatial resistance to the dominant economic and social models that shape our contemporary world. If we want to talk about the development of house in these new context of planetary urbanism, it is from the same individual scale of house that we can approach to the problem of contemporary urban development. The public domain has entered into our own homes. As Victor Hugo proposed in 1820, that printing killed architecture, and the laborious writing on stone was replaced by the fast printing on paper. And in the words of Georges Bataille, architecture is the expression of the varied being of societies, just as human physiognomy is the expression of being of individuals. If architecture no longer tells stories, but still it is the manifestation of the prevailing social order, maybe if we want to talk about that built order, we need to do it from these new spaces of discussion. Never discuss politics at home invites us to think about diverse socio-spatial conflicts of our contemporary cities, starting from the private space of house, from contemporary domesticity, through the new domains of the public. The prevailing economic and social order has generated multiple stories that repeat throughout the globe. Perhaps, after all, Henry Lefebvre was right more than 40 years ago, to insist that the revolution in our times has to be urban or nothing.